David Fetter, Executive Editor Technical for the Prepared Foods Network, welcoming you all to another Prepared Foods video on better for you ingredient trends. We've been reporting on the GLP-1 trend lately. Be sure to check out our April e-magazine cover feature, GLP-1 Naturally by Dr. Keith Ayu. And of course, the media in general have been covering the explosion of consumer interest in weight loss drugs that mimic or stimulate the satiety hormone as well. And also covering the foods and the ingredients that can naturally boost the body's own production of GLP-1. When it comes to foods and beverages, the popular ingredients presented to help stimulate natural GLP-1 production are typically the fibers and protein, and to a lesser extent, healthful fats. But there's a lot more than that. So today, we're welcoming our regular contributor and metabolic science expert, Dr. Dana McCurdy, to discuss the wealth of botanical ingredients that can do the job of helping to enhance satiety. Welcome, Dr. McCurdy.
Hi, David. Nice to be here.
Always glad to have you. When it comes to the botanical ingredients, there's just this wealth of both scientific and traditional background on herbs, roots, rhizomes, fruiting bodies, fungi that can all contribute to GLP-1 production in the body. Where do we dive in?
Well, David, you know that I love good research. So, our modern research has identified a number of different, plant-derived ingredients that can kind of help you support things like satiety, and our GLP-1 markers. But there's hundreds of examples. There's, different things that product makers can focus on, like cinnamon bark, mate, things like tarragon, yacon. I would say, bitter melon and mango leaves are also on that list, as well as like fenugreek, chili peppers, which a lot of folks have heard of things like capsaicin that come from chili peppers, barberry root, which has berberine in it. There's also turmeric, which has curcumin. Um, Ginger, galangal, fennel seed, those are a couple different ones that come to mind when we talk about stuff like this. So there's a lot of different things that these product makers could use as ingredients.
Well, that list sounded like a recipe for some great South Asian cuisine.
I mean, it kind of is, I guess. So there's a lot of traditional medicine and kind of like herb lore that today's researchers have been, like digging into. They kind of have been verifying these old traditional Chinese medicine and medicinal plants and practices. And actually, in TCM, there are mushrooms that contain almost like a double shot of GLP-1 stimulators. And they have chemical compounds that are called mycoceuticals, so like myco, like mushroom, that have they've got a good effectiveness at increasing our GLP-1 levels, excuse me, naturally. But these mushrooms also have beta glucans, like we've talked about before, which
Yeah.
are polysaccharides, and they kind of function almost like an indigestible fiber that then act as a prebiotic that feed probiotic bacteria in your gut and other beneficial bacteria that also in turn will make short chain fatty acids, and this will then trigger our GLP-1 release.
Wow. So yeah, double shot indeed. All right, so tell us, how do these chemicals work on GLP-1 stimulation?
Okay, so I guess let's talk about plant sources. So they contain different phytochemicals, and these are believed to stimulate our GLP-1 receptors on the enteroendocrine cells within the gut. So these then kind of initiate, it's like a cascade effect of signals that then involve key proteins that raise intracellular calcium ion levels, and they result in that big release of that GLP-1 hormone.
Ah,
Some of the mushrooms, so if you think of things like hen of the woods, it's like I think it's like maitake is the name of
right.
that. Is that right? Maitake. They release an inhibitor of alpha glucosidase. So why this is important is because this specific compound helps digest carbohydrates. So if you can slow down your carbohydrate absorption, there's more of an even release of glucose into the bloodstream. And these mushrooms, and there are some others that also contain like flavonoid compounds that can help with fat metabolism. And they actually turn these like fat metabolizing enzymes on and then stimulate that cellular glucose uptake. And that kind of helps reduce your blood glucose overall.
Wow. So they also work in dual manner, I guess you'd say.
Yeah,
Amazing.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a lot going on. I mean, the body's very complex, but specifically with these GLP-1 promoting compounds, we find a lot of them in plants, and these are kind of like a dual purpose thing where they're also typically sources of prebiotics, and in product development and product formulations using these whole plant parts, especially like the roots and the fruits, combining them with major GLP-1 supporting ingredients like proteins, fibers, and resistant starches can really help make a product that is very diabetic friendly.
Wow. So, and also, since a lot of people are taking these drugs that stimulate GLP-1 for weight loss, as you pointed out before, with blood sugar management, we can help get weight management through satiety and through better metabolizing of what we eat. And yeah, and like you said, it's great. All these ingredients you mentioned, they're easily incorporated into foods and beverages. So no need for expensive injections or other pharmaceuticals. Unless
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's like huge, because a lot of folks go to, like the doctor and they get prescribed these, kind of dramatic I guess treatment options, but really you have these ingredients kind of sometimes in your backyard if you live somewhere where wild mushrooms grow, obviously edible ones.
yes, yes.
But there are a lot of prebiotic options and a lot of GLP-1 reducing options.
There are. That's and again, we appreciate your coming to tell us about these things. I know we're kind of short on time tonight, but thank you again. It's always just great when you take time to join us. You're just this font of knowledge, and we appreciate it. I want to thank our audience for joining us. You will find a wealth of articles, podcasts, videos, other source material for better for you ingredients, including more by Dr. McCurdy. That's all right here at preparedfoods.com. Again, I'm David Fetter, executive editor technical for the Prepared Foods Network, and we were with Dr. Dana McCurdy. We hope you'll all tune in again sometime for some more deep dives into the better for you food and beverage category. So till then,